My name is Carrissa Wolfe, and I'm in the mid-north coast of New South Wales, just south of Port Macquarie. And my profession is helping dairy farmers and other small business owners put together their finance systems, training them how to use it, and then being able to bring in the CFO thinking now that their numbers are in a way that they can report on them. My journey into the dairy industry was quite interesting in that it kind of came from several different angles. So I grew up with the neighborhood house cow being a part of my world when I was a child, but I grew up in the mountains and not with cattle. Absolutely love what I do with the management, accounting, and financial systems, and so geeked out professionally for a while. Love training and teaching. Yeah, and then I ended up working on a dairy farm in Australia, and as my dad says, cows are in the blood, and if they wake up, you're a goner. That was it for me. I knew that I wanted to have a dairy farm of my own, and so we went back to the U.S., and we were there for 10 years, and during that time, then I looked at what could I do to flesh out what I didn't know about the dairy industry as a business in general, as well as gain as much information as I could to pad my toolbox so that I wouldn't be a startup statistic. I worked in the dairy industry in the Pacific Northwest in the U.S. and did everything that I loved and had the ability to be on multiple farms, multiple years through the GFC. I was able to see what decisions my clients were making and the ones that worked and the ones that didn't. So I was really able to bring in dairy industry knowledge into that management accounting mindset and see how they blended together. And then we came here in 2012, got our own farm, and head down, bum up. And I found that I really missed working with other business owners and bringing in, look, it's great if I can do it for myself, but how much better is it if I can empower everybody around me? So we restarted the business, ramped it back up, and started bringing in new clients from Australia. And so now I do a mix of ongoing support as well as a lot of project work or one-on-one, consultation type work where I might work really intensively for a while and then spot checks, answer questions, hand-holding support, because the whole point is that as business owners, we're able to make the decisions ourselves, not that somebody comes in and tells us what to do or what we should be thinking, but rather that we've learned how to think that way. From outside the dairy industry have transferred in beautiful ways, in that because I'm a farmer, I understand what in the industry we are missing, that from the outside I've seen and I've worked with and I know, and I'm able to plug those together. In my opinion, the value of service providers coming in from outside the industry is that we really, inside the industry, we end up with groupthink, right? And we end up with this tunnel vision of this is how things are, these are the constraints we have. They're not the constraints we have. And when we look outside the industry and bring that information from outside the industry, we realize that we're not actually in a box, we're in something with very fluid walls that are actually clear. And that's the magic that happens when we bring in service providers from the outside. When we're working with the same service providers in the industry, decade after decade after decade, they're only on other farms. And they're all only moving information from farm to farm to farm. They're not bringing in something that's mind-blowing in another industry or mind-blowing from a different scale. They're not bringing in, what's happening on a corporate or what's happening, on an entrepreneur front. And so that's where the magic happens. The best thing about working with dairy farmers is that they are real people with hearts of gold that day in, day out live the food that they're making, live the relationship with the animals and the land and the whole combination in a way that is so beautiful, and it's different to other ag because there's live animals involved. It's a whole different relationship to land and animal with hearts of gold, and you couldn't find more enthusiastic, passionate, committed people than dairy farmers.